Yay Media Group.
Welcome to a brand new episode of the Fitish podcast. We've been apart for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always hard. We knew this would happen when we moved abroad, but we would have periods of time where we have to travel for work or mostly just for work, actually. I think this was kind of only maybe like the second time I left town for a little bit of pleasure.
A little bit.
I've been back for a couple of days, and then Fran turned around the next day and left. I was actually telling a friend this version of the story. She was laughing so hard, so I have to tell it how I tell you and our audience how I told it to her. But yeah, we had a really cool Fitish work opportunity arise in Phoenix, Scottsdale for the Waste Management Open, which is a big PGA tournament. We weren't like a sponsor at the tournament itself, but we we got an opportunity to be at this big Topgolf activation with another female golf clothing brand. They were doing a big thing. And anyway, we really lucked out because we found out, just so you all know what activations, I just find this interesting as a business owner. I don't even know if I mentioned this to you. I think I might have. We found out what this activation costs. It costs $70,000 to put on. Now, the brand, luckily, Topgolf has a huge marketing budget. The brand had spent some money to participate and obviously bring, they had an influencer house and things like that. So anyway, we were just thrilled to be a part of it.
And all you had to do is bring your pretty face.
Well,
And
I mean,
props to the team.
nothing's cheap anymore, right? But yeah, we ordered a bunch of stuff that we got branded, but yeah, they set up for us. So it was really just like our travel Airbnb and some of the branding and product and stuff that we did. So all things considered, I mean, I don't know, I like to be transparent about things. I think it probably cost us a few $1,000s. But to get to be a part of that and so many new potential customers and customers that are like on target with who we want. There were more men there than I thought there would be. I thought there would be more women, because that's like our primary audience, of course. But people really thought the brand was great. And anyway, I found all of that very interesting, very exciting. It was a cool event. And then I had already months prior planned a girls' weekend in Colorado. One of my friends has a family home in Vail. I'd never been to Vail before. And so we had actually, as girls do, try to plan things. And then we actually got it out of the chat, as they say. And we had that planned already. So I just kind of, added on the work trip prior to that and flew on directly to Colorado. And yeah, then I was gone for like 5 or 6 days, which was the longest I've actually been gone from you and Remy. And it was too long, to be totally honest. It felt too long. I think going forward, I don't want to be gone quite that long if I can avoid it, because I was feeling it a little
30
bit.
minutes, give and take.
I think the trip itself would have been okay, and the work trip itself was fine, but then compounded, I was struggling a little bit.
I like that you keep it was a leisure and workish. It was 12 hours of work for 5 days of so much fun. That house where you're staying looks so amazing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes. It's funny, isn't it? Like, I don't know. I could go on and on about, once you become a mom and spending time with your friends or your friends that don't have kids. I know a lot of you can relate to that, because I think that I see myself still like in friends that don't have kids. Like, I kind of remember how I was then, and but then when you become a mom, you change so much in so many ways that you're probably quite annoying to your friends that don't have kids. And so, I try to keep the Remy talk and photo sharing at a minimum, even though
That is so nice.
they like him, I mean, they're like excited to hear about him and see his photos, but
I go just around just showing pictures.
yeah, I know you do. I see you like in a Starbucks line showing photos to strangers of our child.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, here he goes again.
So I remember, and this is a very relatable story. I remember, quick thing. At some point I was driving an Aston Martin and I thought I was doing a service to people because the sound of the engine was so amazing. I was in my 20s, and it's the same with Remy. I feel like I'm doing a service to people, showing them pictures of my
I see.
son.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
look, your day might be going okay, I'm gonna brighten it up, you know?
I I had a wonderful time. I think that I feel a little older and more boring, when you get around friends.
Sorry.
When you I'm sorry, Fran's drinking an iced coffee, and I feel like if you're hearing that straw go, or like that's what he's doing right now.
I wish I could hear that more often.
And he's I've been meaning to put a montage of our show together. I was like, we need more clip editing here. You understand how sensitive these mics are.
Yes.
Like, it can hear every.
Yeah, but it's better to hear this than to hear, you know?
Oh, so those are our options?
Right now.
Slurping or snoring?
Yeah.
Oh.
Right now, that's what
In
you
all
said.
fairness, Fran's tired. Okay, my trip was great. Girl time was awesome. I'm trying to think highlights, lowlights. Um, I'm not a big skier. I go to a ski destination, and this is what I was telling my friend who this is her family home, and the family wasn't there. It was just us. We all had our own bedroom. It was just amazing. But they've also been friends a lot longer than I've been part of the friend group. So, and I feel older. I am older. I mean, I turn 41 soon. I think they're all like 34, like in that age range. And so you definitely feel 6 years is not.
We're going on 25, you know?
Like, they're all on their peptides. So they all look amazing. They work out all the time because they have the time. They're feeling great. They love to cook. I got put through like sourdough boot camp hell because my friend Courtney, Alora's a great cook too, but my friend Courtney is like loves to make bread. She has the sourdough starter, which is funny, right? That does like age her. That sounds like such mom behavior, that she's at home domesticating. But how gorgeous to be snowed in to this like incredible house. I mean, it's probably one of the nicest
You
houses.
were like in a 20-year-old sorority simulator. Like, you just went to simulate like you were back in.
No, 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 no. They're not that young. I mean, they don't. I wouldn't be friends with people that act that young.
No, no, I'm not saying that they
Our
act like
version of
that.
partying was like, do y'all want to get dressed and go to this hotel for après, where we were all way overdressed, of course, because we didn't ski that day. We snowmobiled in the morning, and we're drinking like hot toddies, and I was drinking mulled wine. I hadn't had a mulled wine in a minute. The kind of drinks that you would never want to drink on a normal basis, but when you're somewhere covered in snow and it's freezing outside and all the skiers are there drinking, and that was so fun, like, just to après, but we literally had, like, some food and a couple of drinks, and then we canceled dinner and stayed at the house and cooked, so it was not quite sorority rager. 2 of them are single, actually, but one's so disgusted by men in general that she doesn't. I think she wants to, but she doesn't, so it's so nice to be around women and my other friend's engaged, and her fiance's great,
That
but
disgusted by men.
yeah, no, that aren't so. When you hang out with single girlfriends, how sometimes it turns into, let's go out and party and find guys to like get attention from, or that sort of thing, or just hang out, right? And so if I was the only one, you just kind of go along for the ride. But no one cared to do any of that. Like, I don't even think we had a conversation with a male that wasn't the waiter or my bartender the entire time we were there. And I'm not just saying, I know you don't care anyway, but we were like, "Oh, should we go out?" We were like, "Nah, let's, like, look at our bread." So that was what our weekend consisted of. But we took pictures, she said, "Shop product, very lazy." Oh, it gets super lazy up in there on a girl's weekend. I mean, we're, like, naked, doing each other's hair. I mean, it's everything, right, that a guy thinks, like, it might be trying on clothes, sharing clothes, which was so cool, like, sharing with each other, styling
Oh, I like that thong. Can I? Yeah, yeah. Here, you
thongs.
take it.
There's no undergarments. Happening. No. Yeah, we got in the hot tub, smoked a lot of pot. Ah, that Colorado pot. It is legal in Colorado, no judgment. Yes, so I'm allowed to say that, but I was trying all the new things out there, so it was lovely. I didn't need to leave that house. I could have just stayed in that house the entire time. I think they have more energy than I do. Like, "Let's get dressed and go into town and shop." I'm like, I could stay here and smoke and watch TV and watch the snow, like, all day with no child to wake me up. So I slept great. Anyway.
So while you were doing all that, we were having a blast, actually. Like it was Art Week in Mexico City,
Yeah.
and Remy and I took full advantage of it. You know,
I was bummed to miss. It's called Zona Marco, and it's a very big event every year here in Mexico. Kind of that Art Basel, but some art that you might actually be able to afford for your home, you know?
yeah, no, and it's just that's when you realize how international Mexico has become, how such an important hub for art, for culture, and how big of a spotlight Mexico has right now. So, quick thing, I got invited by a mutual friend to opening party on Wednesday, and it was so much fun. Like it was that party that the type of party that you will love. Like it's everything you want, amazing DJ, amazing people, like everything. And by 12:30, I look at my brother, I took my brother as my date, and by 12:30, I look at my brother like, time to go home. And he's like, fuck off. Like, you never go out. We never go out. We're going to do it. Okay. So I give it another 45 minutes, and I had a hard stop. I was like, you can stay. I'm going to go. I think
'Cause
that
he has an experience, like, I know you're not single parenting, even with me gone since my mom's here and your mom's here, but, like, he has an experience, like, that wake up with a child when you've been out late is just brutal.
and I went like we left there 1:30. We got here around 1:30. And of course he wanted to chat. So we crack open a bottle of tequila and we started having tequilas. Like so we defeated the purpose of leaving early. Uh we went to it at from 3:30. And
All I just so y'all know, I don't know any of this because, I mean, Fran and I, we communicate, like, for sure in sense of, like, "How are you? Are you good?" We text, we keep in touch,
yeah,
that, we weren't, like, talking tons and tons.
I'm live.
Like, I always like to hear, "Did you make it home?" Whatever, but I would always tell him, "Hey, we're back at the house for the night," and that's kind of it, and so we wouldn't talk after that. I get a image message from my mom at, like, I don't know, 8 or 9 o'clock on, I guess it would have been what, like, Saturday morning or Friday morning, I don't remember, but it's Francisco, his brother in my spot in the bed, and Remy in between the 2 of them, and I'm like, "Oh my god, what kind of party happened last night? Y'all sleep in in the same bed all
The
together."
next day I regret it.
Yeah.
Every second of the last 2 hours.
I would almost rather never go out and have a fun night out ever again, like, if it meant I had to feel that way.
No, no, I can deal with it. But so I had that parent
Conference.
conference with the teacher of our son.
You, like, reek of tequila.
I don't think so, um, because we were drinking a little bit of everything. So it was a mix of alcohols.
When you stay up all night drinking tequila, you are in denial. Even if you're showered and you're not drunk anymore, your body, it's like the meat sweats. You have that agave like sweat happening and you just
So I like I'm unapologetic at this age. So I get there and I saw one of our favorite couple parents that were waiting for the
yeah.
parent conference. And I was like, oh man, like the guy has like, you look like you're having a rough time. It's like, I am. Like, I don't look at, I am having a rough time, but anything for this child, you know? And wow, that was the best aspirin. Like, I think after we had that parents, that conference with the teacher, all my illnesses and pains just disappeared.
This was Remy's parent-teacher conference, and I was bummed to miss it, but I was missing it for the work of it. I would not have missed it if it had been just my girls' trip. So, I was feeling really guilty about it, that I couldn't be there. I was actually on an airplane at the moment it was happening, and I was like, Fran will fill me in. It'll probably be the worst game of telephone ever. He'll have this amazing extended conference, then he'll tell me, "Oh, it was great." You embellished more and gave me more details, but you told me when you told me and my other mom friend told me that y'all both teared up during this, oh, I just had that, like, gut punch to the stomach because even though I had just gotten the veil and I knew I was gonna have a nice time, it's those are those moments
You were
that
naked in a hot tub with other 4 women.
I wasn't. I was fully clothed. I was like, "Oh, cool, 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 bye." No, I was so hanging on every word and, those developmental moments that you can't get back, you can't you tell me about it, and luckily the teacher yesterday went through the presentation, but I didn't realize, the principal was in there and they go through, 15 minutes of everything he's doing so great and, anything we need to work on and showing photos and video of him interacting with other students to kind of show the highs and the lows of what's been going on with him at school. And wow, how cool. We made such a good decision with the school that he's in. We feel so good about that. Don't you feel so good about that as a parent? I've said to friend many times, even if I had made 0 friends so far, or the women were all very, like clicky, or it's hard to penetrate, all these Mexican women, that sort of thing. Even if that was the case and I had yet to make a friend, which is not the case, and Remy came home every day, he's so happy and he's doing so well in school. It really validates this decision I think that we've made to move, and I'm not saying that we couldn't have found this somewhere else, but it's so nice, isn't it? Because if your kid's miserable in school, it's a lot. It's a lot to pick up and move, but you would try and figure it out for your child, or we should, but it makes me so happy because I think that's been the biggest concern for you and I, is that you hope that by moving internationally and moving around like this and what we've done, this decision we've made, this huge decision is so life altering that our child adapts well and enjoys it. And to see that he's like his Spanish is improving and he's very happy. Um, it makes me so happy because I was definitely concerned. If you ask me shortly after our move from America to Mexico when we were living by the beach, we had moments, I think I've told you all, of Remy saying, "I wanna go home. I wanna go back to our house." And I just had to step away and cry because there was no home to go back to, this was home, and I think that I felt deep down like he is gonna adapt. I think it's just harder than you think it's gonna be, because when they get older, he'll probably be more resilient than a child that, never
It wasn't normal.
was never challenged, or, which that's not the end of the world, but I've always wanted a child, I always thought how cool it would be. I didn't have this experience. How cool would it be for a child to say, "Oh my gosh, I lived in the USA, I lived in Dallas, I lived in the beach, I lived in Mexico City." Now, at some point, we're not gonna hop around. We'd like to think we're gonna at least be
Before I was 2 years old.
Yeah. I was so bummed to miss it. And then so this is something else funny. So Francisco, actually, I'm gonna tell a funny story after we take a quick break because I know we need to hear from one of the sponsors of the show, but I wanna tell what happened when I landed really late on Monday night at the airport. So we're gonna get into that, and we're gonna talk a little bit more about how we have a almost 3-year-old and how we're handling that. We'll be right back. Daily Look is a sponsor of the Fitish podcast. This is actually a clothing service that I've been so excited to utilize. I've always been skeptical of these kinds of things just because I'm like, how is someone going to know my style? Especially the older you get. You're so particular. I am. I'm so specific about what I want. When I tell you this blazer I have on right now was something that came in my first order from Daily Look. I got sent 10 pieces and I was shocked that I actually kept every single piece that was sent to me. My mom has since stolen a couple of my items as well because she goes, "Where's this sweater from? Where's this blazer from?" I'm like, "Wait, I'm wearing this blazer all the time." I'm back in the place where I'm sharing stuff with my mom, but it's actually so cool because the stuff is so fashionable and so timeless. I want you to ask yourself a question too. If you've been wearing the same clothes when you go into your closet since like 2005, I know that that was the case for me until I did this like very rigorous closet clean out. It's time. We're a different generation now. And especially since becoming a mom, my style's changed. I'm kind of craving things that are more timeless, like blazers and sweaters and jeans and solid color dresses, things that I can wear and utilize over and over again. Daily Look is so great because the selection is amazing. And you take this quiz, do you like this style? Do you wear more jeans? Do you like dresses? Are you girlier? Do you like patterns? That sort of thing. And I'm like, patterns? No, forget about it. I don't like patterns. So when Daily Look sent me this huge box of clothes, I was just stunned because I'm like, wow, wait, I love all of these things. I've actually been wearing them over and over again for the last few months. And the cool part about Daily Look is they'll send you a selection of items that they think will match, your personal style, and you keep what you like and pay for what you keep, and you send back what you don't, and then you can do it all over again. And of course, you get free shipping both ways, so you don't even have to worry about that. Daily Look's mission is simple: elevate your style. It's time to get your own personal stylist with Daily Look. Head to dailylook.com to take your style quiz. Use the code FITISH, FITISH, for 50% off your first order. Once again, that's dailylook.com/FITISH for 50% off. And make sure you use the promo code FITISH so they know that I sent you. One last time, that's dailylook.com. And that promo code for 50% off your first order is FITISH. All right, welcome back to the show. So, the deal with Brand and his work, and then we were arguing yesterday because I think we were both really tired and like frustrated with each other because I tend to get most frustrated with Fran's like lack of planning. And he goes, 6 years with me, this is who I am, which is, in all fairness, very true. I think it's just gotten increasingly more difficult having a child, right? And then kind of the balancing of that. And so example A, which was fine. I mean, it is what it is, but I wasn't upset about this. But I land, and Fran is so chivalrous, and it's something that I fell in love with him. One of the main things I think that I fell in love with him for in the beginning, and I'm glad that he still maintains this. He's so chivalrous in the way that you always take me and pick me up from the airport. And I don't think that's hopefully you have a man that does that, or if it's meaningful to you, he does those things because especially being here, I mean, I don't mind Ubering, but he knows how much I hate to fly, the anxiety. I had a really long travel day to get back from Colorado. That's a downside about moving out of the country. You don't have as many direct flights anymore. So I had a layover in Dallas, and everything went rather smoothly, but I landed like kind of late, and you picked me up, and it took him 2 hours to get to the airport in traffic. And I was just so pleased to see him because I really wasn't sure, if he was going to be there to get me. And I get in the car, and I was just like so relieved to be back. And you said, so, um, I have to leave at 5 AM. I had to go out of town. So, like, right when I got back, and I was like, "Oh, man, when did this come about? When did you know about this?" He goes, "Well, it's been happening, like, today." And I go, "Oh, really?" It's so that he's telling me about how, one of the girls on his team who lives in Miami. I didn't even really catch the whole story, to be quite honest, because he has a lot of different projects going on at once, but it had something to do, like, these are the details. A girl on his team, a new client, a developer, which I think is the new client, in Tulum. He just needs to go in and out for the day. And of course, my question, and I was like, "Great, cool, new project, awesome, like new potential income, whatever." And I like that he's doing work in Mexico. But I was like, "So this girl," I go, "This girl," and I know this girl on his team. She's very glamorous, like, very put together. I go, "So she's just also finding out that you're leaving at 5 AM? I don't buy it. I bet she already has her flight." And as I was telling my girlfriend this story, I was like, she's tanned and waxed. Like, she had some heads up about this appointment, about this trip, she's tanned and waxed. And you're like, "I think I'm leaving at 5 AM." Go, "Was it really that last minute, or did you know?" So anyway, my friend was laughing so hard because it's like, of course this girl's tanned and waxed before she's going to the beach for a trip. Like, girls usually aren't that spontaneous about a beach trip, even if it's for
Well, how long did it take you to wax?
Was she tanned and
Like,
waxed?
I know she wasn't waxed, but she was that.
I'm just giving him a hard time because, I mean, I don't have any issue with this girl, obviously. It's kind of the joke, right? Like, it shows, like, I'm about as trusting as I can be with anyone. I'm not worried about her, but I'm glad y'all had, like, a nice, successful work trip. But yeah, he was, like, in and out. So, of course, you know how that is. I was, like, so hungover from traveling, and then I was momming all day. I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so tired, Fran. Like, please, please come home." And you're like, "You were gone for 5 days. Like, you can do it." But I come back, there's, like, no food in the fridge to, like, make Remy lunch, and I was like, "Oh, man."
There was enough. There was
I
pineapple, there was strawberries, there were pretzels, there were,
Pineapple.
yes, I had a whole container of pineapple. He loves pineapple.
I had to give our child the ends of the bread as a peanut butter Philly sandwich. That's all that was left. There were 2 bags of bread, but all that was left were the ends of the bread, and he didn't eat it, of course. He doesn't really eat it anyway, but anyway, so we're back together, we're reunited. I actually always really like absence makes the heart grow fonder. For me at least.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
that was, like, the least you're a salesperson, and that was the least convincing "yeah" I've ever heard.
Well, I wasn't selling it. I think it's honest. Like, yes, like it makes you the heart grow fonder, especially when you have a kid. I think the heart doesn't have plenty of time to go any fonder. Like, it has to be in the moment.
Oh, no, well aware, everyone in the audience, my friends included, you were on speakerphone my first day there when you were raving about Remy's conference, and my friend Courtney's like, Fran is obsessed with him. Like, she thought you were amazing. And I go, well, you're seeing him in like a very chatty, it was the most you've ever talked to me. Very chatty. You were loquacious, very loquacious moment, I said to her. And, because you were just going on and on about Remy. And I go, this is not the norm from him. Like, this is not the normal level of communication I get from you. So it was really nice. Like, it was on like, Courtney thought you were just amazing listening to you rave about Remy. She's like, "He's obsessed with your child." I go, "Oh, yeah." Go, "That heart has no bandwidth for me anymore." So happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, stop it. Let me bring
Yes,
hi.
it is Valentine's Day. Do you see my Mark Daily I got from Amazon, by the way? They're kinda ugly. I knew they'd be a little ugly because 'cause they're that, like, barrel shape, but we have Remy's Valentine's school party today that I planned, so, like, mom mode. I have Grandma Candy's out there making worms and
I know. I saw. She's really good at being quiet.
I have to tell y'all, I ordered a bunch of stuff from Temu because I was planning this party, and I will say one of the hardest first world problems, but I think that I can express it to you. One of the harder things that I'm dealing with after going to America and then coming back, because I actually hadn't been since October, but going and coming back, um, I really miss Target. And I used to kinda hate Target and resent Target because it feels overpriced. Again, I mean, I talk about this a lot, right? You'll probably get tired of me hearing, but I know you relate to it because you probably yourself go to Target quite a bit. And I will say, like, now that I'm in Mexico, your Walmarts y'all's Walmarts are better than the Walmart here, and I didn't know that till I got here. The Walmart here is like what you would think Walmart was, but then when I had a baby and started shopping more at the Walmart by us, I was so like, Walmart had great clothes, Walmart had great deals, Walmart had some similar stuff to Target. Maybe not always as, like, aesthetically arranged, right? But, Walmart had some good finds. There is not a store here in Mexico that resembles that kind of Walmart or Target, where in a moment like this, and I know you do not give a fuck about what I'm about to say because it is maybe it is
Try
silly,
me.
but I have yesterday, Fran, of course, talking about the last minute thing was like, we decided we weren't going to have a birthday party for Remy. Remy turns 3 on February 18th. Can't believe we have a 3-year-old almost. And he's just so amazing. But we thought we're not going to do parties. Fran and I already was planning the school party. Fran and I are just not big on, and it's okay if you are, we're not big on doing, like, a huge blowout yet because we know that day's gonna come, and we've just kinda kept it very simple. Like, we still celebrate his birthday, balloons, presents, family, cake, but not some big party, right? And frankly, we just haven't really had, like, the money, bandwidth, or time to focus on it, and so now that it's coming around, though, we're like, "Should we do a little something?" And in any other normal scenario, sure, right? Like, how fun, but I was tired and stressed yesterday, and also living here, there's not a store like, let's say you're gonna plan a party at the last minute, I know exactly what I would do if I was still living in Dallas. Yes, I could plan a party with a day's notice because I could get on Amazon and get stuff same date, I could go to Party City, I could go to Target,
It's a party city.
I know I could go to, like, any of the home stores, like, I know everywhere that I could go in one day, get in my car and go, maybe be a little stressed, but I could get it done. But here in Mexico, things are much more complicated. Now, do all of these places exist in an isolated way? Of course they do. Are they more affordable? Yes. I mean, there are amazing paper stores and party stores, but you cannot do all of these things in one day because of traffic. It's difficult to navigate. I don't know where to go. It's not a one-stop shop like I would do at a Target. Also, like I could go to Target and get food and get art and get presents for Remy for his birthday, but here everything is just
Slowly.
and a new Stanley Cup to match my Valentine's outfit. No, I could do everything, and it doesn't exist here, and so this is where I'm having that moment of, oh my gosh, like we don't have any presents for him for his birthday yet. And I just, you get in those moments of kind of feeling stressed because you just don't know what to do. So anyway, I know yada yada, first world problem. This is part of moving abroad. You figure it out, right? This is where you grow and where you change, and you have to look at it as an opportunity to grow, or you look at it as if the biggest thing I'm missing from the United States is Target and Taco Bell, shit ain't that bad, like it's not that bad here. But at 40 years old and when you're used to doing things a certain way, yeah, you have your moments. My mom's thriving. She's like, I love it. She got in an Uber and went all around yesterday. She was fine. She's like, I love it here. And I was about to be like, Mom, I've missed Target a bit. So I definitely still have my moments, but I feel I've had two of these moments, I think, since moving. 2 or 3 since we moved, and it's been almost a year.
A whip?
2 or 3, that's unfair to paint you that way.
I'm just kidding. She hasn't had 2 or 3 a week.
I've had 2 or 3 since we've been gone, for sure, of those moments of, like, but maybe it's a good thing, right? Maybe it's a good thing because you're so and it's so ingrained in us in America to be so heavy on the consumerism. My friends and I were talking about that you would get carried away. It's your child's birthday. You go to Target. You definitely spend too much money on things you don't need, things they don't care about. You go over the top. And that's kind of something small, not a main reason we moved, but something that I was like hoping to get away from a bit and simplify things because he's 3. Like he doesn't need a million toys. He doesn't need a huge birthday party. And so I think it'll still be nice. Got to get him a piñata. But man, this kid is requesting a fire truck piñata, and I was like, "We already got a Batman piñata, like, what are we gonna do?"
We can
No, actually, we're supposed to go downtown
when?
to El Centro. You said you were gonna go with your mom today.
Yeah.
So, like, maybe as soon as we wrap this up right here. El Centro in Mexico City, if you're curious at all, is there, like, what I guess we would refer to as, like, going downtown. It's quite an
Oh, it's
adventure.
downtown.
Yeah, going downtown. I don't, um I don't like to adventure there alone, not for any reason other than it's just quite overwhelming.
Well, the thing is that downtown in Mexico, it's you have the historic downtown, which is beautiful. Well, the whole thing is beautiful, but like the plaza, like the very like the
Big cathedral.
cathedrals and stuff. But all around, it's one of the biggest trade markets that you can find in Mexico. Like you can find anything. Like you
I've
can find
been
from a monkey to uh
live animals?
I'm pretty sure there are places, and or you find the most powerful computer you've ever find. Like it's like you can find from one extreme to the other. If you're looking for a part for your car, you're
Big
gonna find.
stores that just sell, like, pocket watches, and it's just, like, a ton of vintage pocket watches, so it's a lot overwhelming, and I've been twice, I think, with my mother-in-law, and she's amazing. She's out there, like, wheeling and dealing, rolling her window down. She's like, she's, like, ordering a bra for, like, 2 pesos out the window. She's getting your sister tights, then the lights going, she's, like, throwing money, grabbing stuff. I'm like, "Oh my god, Lula," like, I've never seen anything like it. This is when we
She's
went.
a haggler. Like she showed me, she
Yeah,
taught me how to haggle.
yeah, Fran haggles so much, he gets discounts in department stores where you wouldn't think, like, the things are, like,
Barney's. I've haggled in Barney's.
but anyway, it's
Yeah, that's
amazing.
why they went out of business.
But this is where I would go, but you understand, it's like a full day undertaking to, like, deal with the traffic, get down there, you gotta have energy, and energy and Jenna are just, like, not something that go together for the most part. It's fun as a novelty, but I'm so tired and have so much work to do, and I just, like, lost it on Fran yesterday because he was like, "I don't wanna overwhelm you," and I was like, I'm tired, like, we're launching a new product. I'm, like, thinking about trying to plan a little party for
5 days doing après hour, 24 hours. It was tough.
Yesterday, we launched a new product.
I know. How did it go?
Back. It has nothing to do with my trip. I shot all the content. I needed to edit it. You were so condescending to me, and this is what I mean, and this is what really sent me over the fucking edge yesterday because you're like, "I don't wanna stress you out." I go, "Do you know how much I would love at some point to just sit on my ass at home and be like this?" I say sit on my ass, be like full-time stay-at-home mom where I get to do all of those things, and I'm not, like, trying to balance running a company that's, like, also really difficult to run a business that sales, like, maybe aren't as great as they used to be because the economy sucks and gas is so expensive and, like, everything's so hard, and I'm just frustrated, and so, like, so much of my mental bandwidth is taken up with
Smell the
that.
flowers. Blow the
You're
candle.
doing exactly what you don't like that I do. You're rallying me up and then telling me to breathe.
Babe, you're doing amazing. You did amazing. I think that
Anyway, I had that moment yesterday of
totally.
like, I would love I would love to just be like a stay-at-home mom, be a kept woman,
But
so I can just be like making my arms in dirt.
you fucking hate that. You'll hate
I
like
would like it for a minute.
yeah, for a minute, but you can do it for a minute. Just don't do it for 2 minutes.
On that note, happy Valentine's. I didn't get you anything yet. Did you get me
Yes, of course. I
You-
always. Yes, ahead. Think.
a what?
I think ahead.
A head, I think.
Yes.
Oh, he's like Yoda speaking again.
Yes. My English only gets worse to
Oh, I know it does. I know it does. It's so funny, actually. I know. And then, of course, I go out of town for a few days. I come back, and with my Spanish, I'm like, ugh. I saw someone struggling speaking Spanish in a store in Colorado. And it's like my goal to be able to help someone, you know what I mean? But I'm just not confident. Like I'm not there yet, like I'm just that's a dangerous slope, because I was like, "Oh," like asking someone if they need help and I couldn't do it yet, It was just not my time. But it's like yeah, but it's my goal to be able to like, "Oh, you need someone to translate for you?" No, not there.
soon.
All right. Um Happy Valentine's.
Thank you. Happy
We
Valentine's.
don't have any
to you.
plans, right? We have so
Yes.
much we do?
Yes.
What?
Just chill.
Oh, a spontaneous surprise.
Yes.
The joy. Do I need to tan and wax?
No.
No. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Sounds good. We'll see y'all next week.
Bye bye.